And I know you also made a decision to right now do gospel.
Yes.
How was that news received?
For a very long time, before recently, some years back, I actually made that decision and I confided in somebody about it. And by the time I knew it, it was all over the news. People were writing articles about it. And I remember I just got scared because what people don't understand is ministry is not a joke and you will be judged. People already are side eyeing like, these fake people, it's almost like you have to prove yourself before you're accepted, and I was afraid of that. I didn't want to deal with that. So I recoiled and went back and I got a lot of backlash because I think people in the Christian community felt like I was using that as a bait for popularity or to trend, but really it wasn't. I was really battling with something. So when this transition happened for me, and trust me, I danced around it for so long. I went through periods of serious depression to the point where I wanted to die. And it was tough, very, very tough for me. I prayed to God about it. He was the only person I talked to every day. I went into a lot of vices, smoking. I used to smoke a lot. And someone said to me, you should stop talking about the fact that you used to smoke because people are going to judge you about that. And that's pretty interesting, but that's for another day.
No, you know what? I think it's interesting that people sometimes feel like you have to hide your mistakes.
Exactly, yes.
And by hiding it, so imagine everybody's hiding their mistakes, pretending we're all perfect. Exactly. We're not. We've all done a lot of vices.
Yes.
And I personally feel there's such a strength.
Such a strength.
In just saying, I did it.
I did it.
And God is still using me.
Exactly.
And I'm still here.
And it's part of your story. After I gave that story, I like on a daily, I speak to so many young people who are going through worse things, but so when I spoke to God one day, I went to church in my depression and, oh God, I looked really bad. I mean, you could tell it on me. And I went to church. There was a guy preaching and I said, God, you know what? This thing, I'm tired. If this is what you want from me, I need you to tell me straight. Don't do this for me. You're called to do this. And, by the time the guy finished preaching, he called me out and he said, what do you do? I said, oh, well, I sing. He said, okay, do you sing or you minister? I said, I do both. It's like, okay, well, people who sing, they get popularity, they get, fame. People who minister, they're blessed. And there is an overflow of anointing on your life for ministry. And you would go around in circles until you answer to that calling. So I knelt down. He said, kneel down. He did ask me, which one do you want to be? And then he anointed me. I anoint you a minister of the gospel. After that experience, it was like something broke. I was free. And that was the day I made a decision about 2 years ago-ish that, you know what, I'm going to do this. But even after that, I protected that decision because I wanted to grow. I didn't want to rush. Oh yeah, I'm doing gospel now. Where's the mic? Let's go. Let me record. Let me tour. No, I felt like I had to go through, like, when you're talking about being crushed, when the process of making wine, when people go to the vineyards to look at the process, some people actually pay to step on the grapes, and it's exciting for them. But the grapes are going through a lot. Exactly. So I went through the process of crushing, and also in where the Bible talks about putting new wine in an old bottle is going to break away. I went through that process of the new wine still trying to fit in, and there was a lot of breakaway. I lost a lot of friends. I wasn't the same. I lost a lot of people around me. It was very painful. I was very lonely for a very long time. And, but I went through it. And, when it was time, I remember the first time I made that announcement. I never wanted to make an announcement because I didn't want it to be, it's not about me. It's not, Irene now does gospel headlines. And the media, they are quick to do that. Yes. I didn't want that. So I think the first time I spoke about it was on another TV show, a lady that I trust, Stacy. So when she called me, I was very skeptical. I kept postponing. And some way, somehow, through the conversation, it came out. I was nervous. I wanted to call her and tell her, can we cancel this interview? Because, I didn't want the attention. I just wanted to do my thing. But came out, of course, there were blogs everywhere, and people were calling me, hey, say Cecilia there, you don't do
You're now back to
gospel.
gospel.
You are holy, hey. So we are not holy. Sorry,
Mm.
So I got a lot of things like that. But for the most part, when you have gone through the process of crushing, and you've gone through the process of waiting for time, because I always refer to wine. When the older the wine, the more expensive it is.
Yes.
And that process was hard for me, but I was set and ready.
Do you feel like you are in where you want to be? And you mentioned depression earlier on. Are you free from that right now?
You know what? If I can be completely honest with you, I haven't been depressed in a long time. But however, strongholds are mental. And the enemy always tries to play on your mind every now and then. But for some reason, the way I used to be depressed, Amma, was deep. Very deep. And one day I'll talk about that. But I haven't experienced that in a very long time. I have a peace that is beautiful.